Can humans bring back the mammoth? The extraordinary quest to restore extinct animals. Imagine an Arctic morning in the year 2028. A cold wind sweeps across a snowy plain. Scientists stand behind a protective fence, their breath visible in the frozen air. Cameras wait, reporters whisper. Around the world, millions watch a live broadcast. Then a small animal takes its first uncertain steps. Its body is covered with thick golden brown fur. Its ears are smaller than those of an elephant. Its blood carries genetic adaptations designed for life in extreme cold. Some people call it a mammoth. Others insist it is not. Yet everyone agrees on one thing. The world has never seen anything like it. Scientists at the biotechnology company Colossal Biosciences have publicly stated their goal of producing a mammoth-like calf by that same year using advanced gene editing techniques. For thousands of years, extinction seemed permanent. Once a species disappeared, it was gone forever. The woolly mammoth joined the dodo, the passenger pigeon, and countless other lost creatures in history's graveyard. Now, for the first time, scientists are seriously attempting to reverse that process. The question is no longer whether we can imagine bringing extinct animals back. The question is whether we can actually do it, and what might happen if we succeed. The giants of the Ice Age. Long before cities, highways, and airplanes, mammoths ruled the northern world. They roamed vast grasslands, stretching from Europe through Siberia and into North America. Standing up to 13 feet tall and weighing as much as 12 tons. They were among the most impressive animals ever to walk the earth. Everything about them reflected survival in a frozen world. Thick fur protected them from Arctic winds. Layers of fat insulated their bodies. Small ears minimized heat loss. Massive tusks helped them dig through snow in search of food. For hundreds of thousands of years, mammoths thrived. Then the climate changed. As the Ice Age ended, temperatures rose and habitats shrank. Human hunters expanded into mammoth territory. Scientists still debate the exact balance between climate change and hunting. But together they pushed mammoths toward extinction. The final known population survived on Wrangel Island in the Arctic Ocean until about 4,000 years ago. When the last mammoths died, the Great Pyramid of Giza had already stood for centuries. Frozen messages from the past. The mammoth's possible return begins beneath the Arctic ice. Across Siberia, Alaska, and northern Canada, permafrost acts like a giant freezer. It has preserved traces of Ice Age life for thousands of years. Scientists have discovered tusks, bones, hair, skin, and even remarkably intact carcasses. One of the most famous discoveries occurred in 2007, when reindeer herders found a baby mammoth later named Liuba. Though she had been dead for more than 40,000 years, much of her body remained astonishingly preserved. Most importantly, these discoveries contain DNA. DNA is life's instruction manual. Although mammoth DNA is damaged and fragmented, advances in genetic sequencing have allowed scientists to reconstruct much of the mammoth genome. Ancient bones are no longer merely fossils. They are libraries, and scientists have learned how to read them. The company trying to bring back the mammoth. For many years, de-extinction remained largely an academic idea. Then a biotechnology company called Colossal Biosciences changed the conversation. Founded by entrepreneur Ben Lamb and Harvard geneticist George Church, Colossal has become the world's most visible de-extinction company. Its goals extend beyond mammoths. The company is also pursuing projects involving the dodo and the Tasmanian tiger, or thylacine. The dodo vanished from Mauritius in the 17th century, after human settlement transformed its environment. The thylacine, a dog-like marsupial predator, survived into the 20th century before disappearing. Together, these projects reveal a remarkable shift in scientific thinking. Researchers are no longer asking whether extinction can be reversed. They are beginning to ask which species might return first. Most remarkably, Colossal has publicly stated its intention to produce mammoth-like calves by 2028. Whether that timeline proves realistic remains uncertain. Yet extinction reversal has moved from theoretical discussions into active engineering projects, backed by significant investment, and some of the world's leading geneticists. 3 different ways to reverse extinction. When most people hear the phrase bringing back extinct animals, they imagine cloning. In reality, scientists have 3 primary approaches. Cloning. This method created Dolly the sheep in 1996. Scientists place the nucleus of a living cell into an egg cell, whose own nucleus has been removed, creating a genetic copy of the original animal. The problem is that cloning requires intact living cells. For animals that disappeared thousands of years ago, such cells no longer exist. The most famous de-extinction experiment involving cloning occurred in 2003, when scientists briefly revived the extinct Pyrenean ibex, a wild mountain goat from Spain. The clone survived only a few minutes before dying from lung defects. But it nevertheless became the first extinct species ever brought back to life. Backbreeding. This approach attempts to recreate lost traits by selectively breeding living descendants. Projects involving the extinct aurochs, the wild ancestor of modern cattle, have used this method. The resulting animals are not true aurochs, but they demonstrate how selective breeding can recover some characteristics of lost species. Genetic engineering. This is the mammoth strategy. Scientists identify key genes responsible for mammoth traits and insert them into the DNA of closely related living species. In the mammoth's case, that species is the Asian elephant. Most researchers believe genetic engineering, particularly through CRISPR technology, offers the best chance of producing a mammoth-like animal. Why scientists cannot simply clone a mammoth? Many people ask a simple question. If we cloned Dolly, why can't we clone a mammoth? The answer is straightforward. No complete mammoth cell exists. Every mammoth specimen discovered so far contains damaged DNA. Time has shattered the genetic code into countless fragments, making direct cloning impossible. Scientists can read large portions of the instructions, but they cannot simply copy them. Instead, researchers are identifying mammoth genes associated with cold adaptation and introducing them into elephant cells. The result would not be an exact mammoth, but a hybrid carrying mammoth characteristics. And that creates another challenge. Even if scientists create a mammoth embryo tomorrow, who will carry it? The surrogate mother dilemma. At first glance, the solution seems obvious: use an elephant. Yet this creates one of the project's greatest ethical dilemmas. Both Asian and African elephants face significant conservation challenges. Critics argue that asking endangered elephants to carry experimental embryos places valuable animals at unnecessary risk. An elephant pregnancy lasts nearly 22 months, and every pregnancy carries potential complications. To avoid that dilemma, researchers are exploring a technology that sounds like science fiction: artificial wombs. Although still experimental, these systems could one day support fetal development outside the body. If successful, they could transform not only de-extinction, but also wildlife conservation and reproductive medicine. The woolly mouse, a tiny step toward a mammoth. One criticism often raised against de-extinction is that it remains entirely theoretical. Recently, scientists offered a response. Researchers successfully engineered laboratory mice with traits inspired by the mammoth genome. By editing genes linked to hair growth and metabolism, they produced mice with thick, woolly fur and cold-adapted characteristics. No one claimed these animals were miniature mammoths. That was not the point. The experiment demonstrated that ancient genetic information can produce measurable physical traits in living animals. The woolly mouse joins a growing list of experiments involving extinct traits. Researchers have also explored genetic modifications associated with the extinct dire wolf, using living gray wolves as a foundation. Together, these projects suggest that de-extinction is gradually moving From theory to practice.
But what is a mammoth? This question may ultimately prove more difficult than the science itself. Suppose scientists create an elephant with mammoth fur, mammoth fat deposits, mammoth blood adaptations, and mammoth behavior. What exactly is that animal? Many researchers describe such organisms as proxy species, animals engineered to resemble extinct species without being genetically identical to them. The same debate emerged after genetically modified wolves carrying traits associated with the extinct dire wolf were introduced to the public. Supporters described the achievement as de-extinction. Critics described it as genetic engineering. The deeper question concerns identity. Philosophers have wrestled with similar puzzles for centuries. One of the most famous is the ship of Theseus paradox. Imagine a wooden ship whose planks are replaced one by one over time. When every original plank has been replaced, is it still the same ship? The mammoth presents a modern version of that ancient question. If scientists reconstruct an extinct species using elephant DNA, mammoth genes, and modern biotechnology, what exactly have they created? Science can modify genes. Whether those genes recreate identity remains a philosophical question. A clone is not a time machine. Another lesson comes from pet cloning. Today, some owners spend tens of thousands of dollars cloning beloved cats and dogs. Yet clones do not become the same individual. They do not inherit memories, experiences, or personality. Genes matter. Life experiences matter too. Even identical twins develop different identities. Despite sharing nearly identical DNA, the same principle would apply to mammoths. A recreated mammoth could inherit ancient biology. It could never inherit an ancient life. Beyond the mammoth. Supporters argue that mammoth restoration is not merely about the past. It is also about the future. While developing mammoth technologies, scientists are learning how to manipulate elephant stem cells, understand elephant genetics, and combat diseases that threaten living elephant populations, including the deadly elephant endotheliotrophic herpesvirus EEHV. The woolly mammoth may be the most famous de-extinction project, but it is far from the only one. Researchers are investigating ways to restore the dodo, the passenger pigeon, and the thylacine. Each presents different scientific challenges and ecological questions, yet all point toward the same extraordinary possibility. Extinction may no longer be the permanent boundary it once seemed. The sixth mass extinction. The mammoth story unfolds against a troubling backdrop. Many scientists believe Earth is currently experiencing a sixth mass extinction event, driven largely by human activity. Habitat destruction, pollution, climate change, overexploitation. Thousands of species face uncertain futures. This creates a strange paradox. Humanity is simultaneously trying to save species, losing species, and resurrecting species. Conservationists are fighting to protect rhinos, orangutans, elephants, and countless others from disappearing forever. At the same time, researchers are exploring ways to revive mammoths, dodos, passenger pigeons, and thylacines. Never before has a civilization attempted to preserve the present, while rebuilding pieces of the past. The debate and the risk of success. Supporters of de-extinction see an opportunity. Humans contributed to many extinctions. Perhaps humans therefore have a responsibility to repair some of that damage. Critics disagree. They worry that de-extinction may divert resources from endangered species that need protection now. Others warn that if people believe extinction can be reversed, they may feel less urgency to prevent it. Even success could create new problems. The world that mammoths once inhabited no longer exists. Modern ecosystems have evolved without them. A reintroduced species might compete with existing animals, alter vegetation in unexpected ways, or struggle because climate change has transformed its habitat. Bringing an animal back is only the beginning. Finding a place for it to thrive may prove even harder. Looking beyond the horizon. Perhaps mammoths will someday roam Arctic grasslands. Perhaps dodos will return to Mauritius. Perhaps the thylacine will once again stalk Australian forests. Or perhaps these projects will fail, while producing technologies that help save species already living among us. No one knows. But one truth is becoming increasingly clear. For most of human history, extinction was nature's final verdict. Today, it is becoming a technological question. Imagine again that Arctic morning. A small, shaggy calf stands in the snow while cameras record history. Whether we call it a mammoth or something else, its first breath would mark the beginning of a new chapter, not only for science, but for our understanding of life itself. The mammoth vanished thousands of years ago. The dodo, the passenger pigeon, and the thylacine followed. Yet their stories are no longer confined to museums and history books. Whether humanity succeeds or fails, the age of de-extinction has already begun.
It's time to study new words in context. 1. Extinction. Definition: the complete disappearance of a kind of plant or animal, because none are left alive. Example: the woolly mammoth became extinct thousands of years ago. 2. Permafrost. Definition: ground that stays frozen all year for many years. Example: scientists found mammoth bones in the frozen permafrost of Siberia. 3. Carcasses. Definition: the dead bodies of animals. Example: frozen mammoth carcasses have helped scientists study the past. 4. Genetic sequencing. Definition: the process of finding and reading the order of genes in DNA. Example: genetic sequencing helps scientists study mammoth DNA. 5. Genome. Definition: all the DNA and genetic information in a living thing. Example: scientists studied the mammoth genome to learn about its body. 6. De-extinction. Definition: the scientific process of trying to bring an extinct animal back to life. Example: the Mammoth Project is one of the best-known examples of de-extinction. 7. Marsupial. Definition: a kind of animal whose babies continue growing in a pouch after birth. Example: a kangaroo is a marsupial. 8. Nucleus. Definition: the center of a cell that contains its DNA. Example: scientists removed the nucleus from an egg cell during cloning. 9. Intact. Definition: complete and not damaged. Example: scientists need intact DNA to clone an animal. 10. Traits. Definition: special qualities or features that make a person, animal, or plant different. Example: thick fur is one of the mammoth's important traits. 11. Aurochs. Definition: a large wild ancestor of today's cattle that became extinct long ago. Example: scientists are trying to recreate some traits of the aurochs. 12. Cold adaptation. Definition: a change that helps a living thing survive in very cold places. Example: thick fur is a cold adaptation that helped mammoths live in the Arctic. 13. Embryo. Definition: a very young living thing before it is born or hatched. Example: scientists hope to grow a mammoth embryo in the future. 14. Surrogate. Definition: a person or animal that carries and gives birth to another's baby. Example: scientists may use an elephant as a surrogate mother for a mammoth embryo. 15. Fetal. Definition: relating to a baby growing inside its mother before birth. Example: scientists are studying fetal development in artificial wombs. 16. Proxy. Definition: something or someone that takes the place of another. Example: scientists describe a mammoth-like elephant as a proxy species.
Comprehension questions. 1. What is the main question the article tries to answer? Answer: the article explores whether humans can bring back the woolly mammoth, and what the scientific, ethical, and environmental consequences might be. 2. Why did mammoths become extinct? Answer: scientists believe mammoths became extinct because the climate became warmer after the Ice Age and humans hunted them. 3. Why is frozen permafrost important to mammoth research? Answer: permafrost preserves mammoth remains, including bones, skin, hair, and DNA, allowing scientists to study them. 4. Who are Ben Lamb and George Church? Answer: Ben Lamb is an entrepreneur, and George Church is a Harvard geneticist. Together they co-founded Colossal Biosciences, the company leading the Mammoth de-extinction project. 5. Why can't scientists simply clone a mammoth? Answer: because no complete living mammoth cells exist. The DNA found in mammoth remains as damaged and incomplete. 6. What are the 3 main methods scientists use to try to restore extinct animals? Answer. They are cloning, backbreeding, and genetic engineering. 7. Why is the Pyrenean ibex important in the history of de-extinction? Answer. It was the first extinct animal briefly brought back to life through cloning in 2003, although it survived only a few minutes. 8. What is the biggest ethical problem with using elephants as surrogate mothers? Answer. Asian and African elephants are already endangered, so using them in risky experiments could put them in danger. 9. Why are scientists interested in developing artificial wombs? Answer. Artificial wombs could allow mammoth embryos to grow without using living elephants as surrogate mothers. 10. What was the purpose of creating the woolly mouse? Answer. Scientists wanted to test whether mammoth genes could produce mammoth-like traits in a living animal. 11. Why do some scientists call a future mammoth a proxy species? Answer. Because it would not be a true mammoth, but an elephant genetically engineered to have many mammoth traits. 12. What is the ship of Theseus paradox, and how does it relate to mammoths? Answer. The ship of Theseus asks whether something is still the same object after all its parts have been replaced. Likewise, scientists ask whether a genetically engineered mammoth-like animal is truly a mammoth. 13. Besides the mammoth, what other extinct animals are scientists trying to restore? Answer. Scientists are also studying ways to restore the dodo, the passenger pigeon, the thylacine, Tasmanian tiger, and other extinct species. 14. What are 2 possible benefits of the Mammoth project? Answer. It may help scientists protect living elephants from diseases such as EEHV and develop new technologies for wildlife conservation. 15. According to the article, why is de-extinction more than just a scientific project? Answer. Because it raises important questions about nature, ethics, conservation, and humanity's responsibility for the future of life on Earth. Discussion question. If scientists successfully create a mammoth-like animal, do you think it should be released into the wild? Why or why not? Sample answer. There is no single correct answer. Some people believe it could help restore Arctic ecosystems, while others worry it might harm modern wildlife or struggle to survive. Scientists would need to study the risks carefully before making such a decision.